Whether you like to watch animals from a distance or have them sitting right in your lap, we have something you'll love here on Georgia Detours. Each week, we'll show you the most exciting people and places throughout our great state. And today's episode is for the animal lovers, like me and Zeus here. Our first stop, Zoo Atlanta.
Zoo Atlanta has been a captivating destination of Georgia since 1889.
A lot of people think that a lot of our job is just getting to play and interact with the animals, and part of it is getting to interact with the animals, but it's a lot of day in, day out work.
Every day is different. So you come into work and you think, okay, this is my routine, I'm gonna make sure everybody's doing okay, I'm gonna feed all the animals, I'm gonna clean their exhibit, and then I'm gonna, go to lunch. Well, something always happens. Being a keeper means being very flexible.
Being a zookeeper is actually pretty demanding. There's a lot of time management because all of us have more than one animal to take care of, definitely.
There's so much more that goes into it. We're working outside of just our area too. We're connecting with other individuals, and that's the whole conservation side of things. We're working with other zoological institutions and working as a team to reach the common goals.
It's challenging and rewarding at the same time.
The engaging and sometimes hands-on interaction between the guests and animals doesn't happen easily. Keepers and other staff members work together to make sure the experience is an all-around positive one.
My name is Christine Toledo. I am the lead keeper of birds and program animals. And my job is to be the liaison basically between the keepers and our curator. I also go around every day checking in on keepers and the animal habitats, making sure the animals have everything they need and the keepers have everything they need. I was one of those kids, just like lots of kids, that always loved animals and just kept learning about animals, and interned at the Philadelphia Zoo when I was in high school, and I remember being behind the scenes of the cow milking station thinking, this is really cool. I love the behind the scenes aspect. I love talking to guests and getting them to be just as passionate about wildlife as I am. And so just kept progressing from there, and I got an internship at an aviary and then decided that not only do I love animals, but I love birds. Number one, they're everywhere. So I come to work and I see birds, and on my way home I see birds, in my backyard I see birds, and they're just the most tangible part of wildlife that I can think of aside from plants. I just love that birds are so specialized. They can fly. How can you not love an animal that can fly? They do fancy courtship behaviors. They're colorful. They sing. They dance. And they have everything. We have many different species of birds. Here in our treehouse exhibit, we have over 15 species of birds. It's about 50 individuals. It's mostly passerines in here. It's going to be your songbirds. We have a couple of waterfowl. We have some pheasants. Out in our zoo, we have some flamingos. My personal favorite, we have the vultures, which are a really cool species. Our biggest bird is our cassowary, who's about as tall as me. Our smallest bird is in this exhibit. It's a Tibetan golden weaver that's about 10 grams.
I am a primate keeper here at Zoo Atlanta. I work with our gorillas specifically. So my day in, day out is I take care of their well-being, I feed, I train, things like that, just overall well-being of the animals in day-to-day care. I've always loved animals ever since a young age, just like so many other people who work with animals. I was really drawn to them. So I went to school, found a degree to work with animals, got so drawn in, and gorillas specifically. I read Gorillas in the Mist as a child. I got really interested in Diane Fossey. Once I got hooked on gorillas around the age of 9, I just never left. So the older I got, the more I got involved to try to find out different ways that I could kind of get my foot in the door to start working with them, whether it be out in the wild or in zoo settings. And the zoo seemed like the best option. In this group, we have 10, in our family group, 21 zoo-wide of gorillas. We have the largest holding of gorillas in North America. So we have all different personalities, all different ages. We have our youngest being Mijadala at 5.5 months, our eldest being Shamba at 57. So we have all different types of animals. Luckily, everyone has a different personality, and there's some obviously that we click more with others, but it's just been interesting to work with all these guys.
My name is Deidre Osterhout. I am a Keeper 2 here at Zoo Atlanta in the Program Animals department. And Program Animals is the department that actually goes out, does the shows, encounters. We actually do a lot of the education stuff. So the animals I care for are actually going out on programs like Zoomobiles, or if Homeschool Academy comes and visits, they're using the animals that we care for. Also, we perform the shows, so most of the guests who do come in get to see the shows. They see our bird show, they see our small animal show, so it's just a chance for us to communicate with the people why these animals are awesome and why they should care about them and try to make a difference themselves. Zoo Atlanta is very big in global conservation. We have Quarters for Conservation, which is 25 cents of every person's admission who comes in. They actually get to pick which conservation out of 4 different conservation programs that they want to support. So we are helping not only by raising money, we're raising awareness, and also we have a lot of animals who are part of the Species Survival Plan. And that's basically kind of like a breeding program for animals who are endangered out in the wild. So if they do become extinct out in the wild or critically endangered, there are other options hopefully to reintroduce them back out there.
My name's Trent Neeson, and I'm the lead keeper of our herpetology department here at Zoo Atlanta. So herpetology is reptiles, amphibians. Started ever since I was little. That was the biggest thing that I can think of, is just always having a passion for animals. In the herpetology department, we have our indigo snake project. We head start those guys, and then they are slated to be released, so that's really awesome. We also do a head start program with our diamondback terrapins, which are also native to Georgia. So those guys come in and they're really, really small, and we grow them up to a certain size, and then we send them back into the wild. A couple other ones that we do that are not native, we have our Guatemalan beaded lizard, and then our Panamanian golden frogs, which are actually extinct in the wild. So Zoo Atlanta and all the other zoos that are taking part in that project are working towards, hopefully in the future, being able to release back into the wild and get that population back to its natural area.
Seeing guests connect with the animals that we have here really gets me excited.
I would say just the animals. We get excited to see them.
Seeing someone light up and actually have that connection is just the most amazing thing.
Being able to share my passion is just amazing. It lights me up, and when people see my passion, they get excited too.
And see that connection in their eyes, it's like, oh, I have this animal in my backyard.
If I can be a part of that, that really is exciting to me.
The fact that people are thinking about those things when they come to the zoo, that gets me kind of excited.
And that's really why we're here, to get people excited about animals and want to change the world for the better.
That's probably what really gets me going every day.
Wow, they make it look so easy, but I cannot imagine getting up so early without a morning boost. Maybe our next stop can help with that. Let's join our correspondent Savannah Pratt at Java Cats Cafe.
I'm Savannah Pratt, and if you like playing with fluffy kittens and enjoying a tasty cup of coffee, then our stop on Georgia Detour is the perfect place for you.
My name is Hayden Hilton, and I'm 25 years old, and I own Java Cats. Being 25 and owning a business is something I never thought in a million years I would ever do. I've never been interested in business before. I was going to school for film, but I think when you find something you're passionate about accidentally, which I was already passionate about cats, but opening a business and having a completely non-business perspective on this gave me a chance to be creative and own what I'm doing, and I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. We pride ourselves in customer service. We genuinely care for people who come in here. We genuinely care for these cats, so we just want this to be a feel-good place, and cats are getting adopted, and we support a nonprofit, so I want people to leave here with a smile, knowing that their money is going to a good cause and not a big corporation. One of my favorite parts about owning, I would have never done this for the coffee. I did this obviously for the cats, but I love the coffee aspect too. But it is a fun place for people to come, because when they go into the lounge, they're talking to people. They're not on their phones. They're not on their laptops, or they're socializing with each other. And I think people that come here, obviously, they have a common denominator interest. So when they're in there, they make friends. You leave as friends. I think it's really cool, and I hope to keep the momentum up and be a cool place where people can come and know they can, meet other people with common interests and just communicate with each other. the community is rallying behind like these adoptions that are happening. So it's really cool to have a support and community on Instagram that's like, oh my gosh, Lua got adopted, or Harvey got adopted. This is number 68. So there's people that are really excited that are behind this and following along the journey. So I want people to feel like they're connected to what we're doing here, and not just where this company that's just or business that's adopting cats, but it's the community that's pushing these adoptions to happen. Paws was pretty inevitable. They were the first people I actually reached out to, and I needed cats, and they were a perfect partnership for me. They're great. Georgia's oldest non-kill animal shelter, so they were super excited to get on board and give their cats more exposure. We try to keep 16 cats in the room at a time, and as soon as that number starts dropping from the amount of adoptions, we bring more in. So I just call Paws and say, hey, we need like 5 or 6 more cats, and they'll bring the cats in. And so that's pretty much our relationship with them. And then the adoption fee goes straight back towards the shelter. So we get none of that. We want to support their cause. And then the admission fee to go into the lounge helps us support the lounge and take care of the cats as we're a foster for them. The second day that we opened, we had a cat here that was at Paws for over a year, completely overlooked, and she was adopted in day 2 here by a girl who's never had a cat in her life. And she just went in there with a friend who brought her here, and she couldn't leave without this cat, and so they're best friends, and it's awesome. If someone's interested in a cat, you just you apply. There's a pretty rigorous application process, so you fill out the application, we send it over to Paws, they review it, so they have the final say-so if they approve or disapprove. If you're approved, we do all the paperwork here on site, and we have boxes in the back for the cats ready to go home, and they can leave the same day that they're adopted, so they're good to go. Gathering Industries, they're a nonprofit that I'd been a photographer, videographer for a couple of years before, and I knew I wanted to involve them for the food program and support their mission, and they employ Atlanta homeless from the Atlanta mission, and they equip them with culinary skills so they can find jobs in the restaurant industry. So their mission's awesome, and I thought it'd be great to kind of put both organizations hand to hand and have a feel-good place.
With cat cafes popping up all over the West Coast, they're proving to be more than a trend. Java Cats Cafe is the first of its kind in Atlanta, Georgia, as the concept of coffee and cats spreads to the East Coast.
So we're the only one in Georgia, and it started from a film class I was in. I had to do a project on some phenomenon in media, so I picked YouTube cat videos. And through that project, just doing some research, I came across the concept of a cat cafe. I'd never heard of it before, and just was super intrigued by it and couldn't stop thinking about it. So I just wanted to see what it would take to make one happen here. It's hard, there's a lot of work, but I don't regret a single day that I'm here, and I'm doing what I love, and it makes a big difference, and it doesn't feel like work at all. I feel like I'm making a difference in the euthanasia rate and just the adoptions in general, and it all goes back to the type of exposure they have here. So we're the third in the Southeast. It's a little bit harder because people aren't super aware of the concept. I love cats, and I think it's super depressing to know how high the euthanasia rate is for cats among all other animals. So cats, they don't have much time when they get to a shelter that's a kill shelter. They usually get maybe 1 to 3 days, so then they're put down. So having a place like this where they're in a comfortable environment, like a living room setting in a coffee shop, they can be here until they find their forever home. We're creating more room for the shelter to bring in more cats, and they get socialization here, so they have a better chance of being adopted. Definitely come here and just go into a room that you can see the personalities of the cats. Makes a big difference on whether you want to adopt them or not. So I think people who are on the fence about adopting, one, you're saving a life, and you'll never regret it. They're such great companions. But I think people who come in here and sit in a room with the cats, you can tell their personalities, you can see what cat chooses you, which I fully believe that the cats pick you. So I think it's just a fun environment for people to come and get to know the cat before they're adopted. And it's just a cool process. So I just want people to leave here happy.
So there you have it, a cafe where you can play with cuddly friends and help the Atlanta community. You can't get much better than that. So next time you're in the East Atlanta area, feel free to stop on by, and who knows, you might end up with your own four-legged friend. Let's go.
Watching that really made me want another cat, but I think I already have my hands full with this guy. Isn't a cat cafe such a great idea? You could walk in expecting to buy a coffee and walk out with a cat. At our final destination, that may be a little harder to do. Let's head up to the North Georgia Zoo.
It's a beautiful morning here in Dahlonega, Georgia at the Chastity Wildlife Preserve and Zoo. And it sounds like the animals are just as excited to see us as we are to see them.
As we ride through the preserve, I'm immediately captivated by the beautiful atmosphere and astonishingly close wildlife. This is unlike any zoo I've ever encountered, but it also operates unlike any I've ever heard of. I met up with the owner, C.W. Wathen. He traded in his normal life to save the lives of neglected and abused wild animals.
Tell me a little bit about the zoo.
Well, we do a lot of rescue here. A lot of people have animals that they're got to have license for, and a lot of people get these illegal, and then they get caught up with them and realize they got to have a home, and that's how we get them. People donate them to us, and they live the rest of their lives out here.
So you rely solely on donations?
Yes, we do. We get no funding from the government or the state or anybody. We're privately owned here. We try not to take no more animals than we can, but it's hard to not turn anything down when somebody brings it. And a lot of our animals are dropped off at our main entrance just in a box.
Here at Chastity, you have the opportunity to get up close and personal with wild animals from all over the world.
In addition to its unique purpose, Chastity offers unique hands-on animal encounters. Today, I'm participating in Breakfast with the Big Cats, an exhilarating and up-close opportunity to feed some of the world's most infamous predators. I head to the kitchen to learn more about food prep and the ins and outs of breakfast time.
So all of our animals have a different diet, and a lot of it depends on what we have in for produce, what gets donated or what we've gotten. But basically the day before we make all the food, so we come in the morning, like this morning, and all of our food is made. It's all in the fridge ready for us, so we can just get right to work. We run off a lot of donations, I would say, and when donations aren't coming in regularly, we do have to go buy it. But we always wait until the last minute hoping to get some donations. A lot of our bread gets donated, which is good. That helps. We go through a lot of bread. A lot of the animals get peanut butter sandwiches. We probably make like 3 loaves of peanut butter sandwiches every day. Lots of different fruits and vegetables, whatever gets donated or whatever we buy from the grocery store. Our big cats, our grizzlies, those bigger animals will eat just meat. You're allowed to feed any of the animals that can come up to the fence that close. There's the corn machines, or we give people bread a lot to feed, or if we have extra stuff, we'll sometimes give it, especially to kids and stuff like that.
Now that breakfast is prepped and ready to go, it's time to get briefed on the safety procedures for feeding time. First on the agenda, Mufasa the lion. Not to be mistaken with the Disney favorite, this African lion is a rescue with a bright future and a big appetite.
So tell me a little bit about how you go about feeding the lions.
Well, we go in, and everything we do is safety first, so we stay at least 4 or 5 feet away from the cage, and we feed them their chicken every morning.
So every single morning they eat?
Every single morning they eat, 365 days a year.
Where did these lions come from?
They're a rescue, and we've had them for many years, and they'll live their life out here.
Well, I can't wait to meet them.
All right, let's go.
All right, so he looks pretty excited. Do I just pick the chicken up?
Pick it up, toss it in there.
All right. Sorry about this. Wow. You know, it's a pretty miraculous feeling to be this close to such a powerful animal. This is really something that I think anybody should come and experience at least once in their lifetime.
I'm excited to see what else this place has to offer. Chastity gives you the opportunity to see animals from all over the world, but some of the wild animals here are rescued pretty close to home.
Well, both these wolves was born here. About 4 years ago, we had their parents. The mother was older, she couldn't feed them. So we took them from the mom and bottom fed them. They're eastern greys, are normally found in North America. They play all the time. We put peanut butter in balls and they run and they chase them. And we built them a new platform in the last month that they run and jump on. And they got their den underground here that they go get in whenever they want to, and just like home would be in the wild.
For those who may not be able to handle the excitement of the predatory animals, you're in luck. You can still enjoy the hands-on encounters with water buffalo, zebras, zedonk, and more. I had a wonderful time at the Chastity Wildlife Preserve, and I know that when you visit, you will too.
If you'd like to donate or know more about Chastity Wildlife Preserve, visit www.chastitywildlife.com. I'm Callie Mann, and thanks for getting your hands on the wild.
From peacocks to pet cats, animals certainly have a special place in our hearts. And here on Georgia Detours, you never know where we'll take you to find these amazing creatures. Thanks for joining us tonight, and be sure to tune in next week for a special St. Patrick's Day episode. For GSU TV, I'm Dominique Times. See you soon.